Thanks. What I'd like to do is just recall back to the first day when we looked at the Higher Education Solutions Network framework, the Office of Science and Technology that has engaged the 7 development labs. So we talked about 3 things. We talked about how can the Resilient Africa Network either complement, expand upon, or deepen what USAID is doing in the development space. And we talked about how this is an experiment, a very exciting experiment. And so we know that some of you haven't had the opportunity, the pleasure of working with AID. It's a great pleasure, isn't it, William, to work with USAID? And so... So I just want you to keep that in mind, because what this is really about is inspiring your thinking and giving you some context and some contact with our aid representatives from USAID Kampala, the USAID mission to Uganda. So let me introduce them. Rand Robinson is the Senior General Development Officer in the Program Office. I've had the pleasure of working with Rand for almost 6 years. We first met in Haiti. We've used that a lot as a case study, so he also has deep expertise in Haiti before and after the earthquake. He's worked in crisis environments, Afghanistan, Yemen. They decided then to give him a slightly easier job in Uganda. And he is the point person and you can feel free, he'll do a small overview of the program cycle, how AID does its strategies, project design, budgeting, but we really want to save time for a dialogue together. And Rand, I'm going to let you introduce Diana, who is in the economic growth team, but wears many hats in the mission.
Thank you very much. Diana does wear many hats, but her closest hat to you is she's really working on our most vulnerability population side, resilience, Karamoja, coping strategies. She's looking after our portfolio that reaches out in that regard. If I can go quickly, I'm just going to show you a few things and maybe that can generate some conversation. Can we see something here? I'm the primary design officer at AID, and I was told project design and how we do it should be of interest to you. I've only been here 20 minutes, but I'm learning a lot about what Rand's objectives are, and it's clear to me how it sounds like, yes, there's an award and there's a new RAND network, but you're a cascading series of design and intervention opportunities, and so you're going to need to pay attention to some of this. So this is just some of the stuff that you see at AID now. Project design's really changed a lot at AID, I must say. I've been with AID 12 years, it's changed a lot. It's going to take a lot more time and effort and practice to keep it moving, but this is just sort of the best. Not just. Sorry. The learning cycle at AID, I mean, this is just, you have to have seen something like this before. This is certainly true in the scientific community. You plan, you implement, you look for evidence, you evaluate, you learn, and it's just a program cycle. I think what's a little bit different, and importantly different about this for AID, is there's a lot of invitation for adaptation and learning, and become reflective to become really more reflective practitioners about what's going on and how do we know what we think we know, which I think you will appreciate. Scientists should sort of like this. Hit the space bar. My colleagues, and we're working very hard to get these kinds of characteristics into project design. Project design, every donor has a different expression of it, but all of them are going to have some better characteristics. Here are 2 or 3 of ours. Gender equality and female empowerment, it remains a very big problem. There are people who say we have wasted decades in this. We know a lot about these issues and we are not as aggressive about them as we should be. And our design documents should really reflect that. Science and technology, boy, that's going to be your #1 application. You should be thinking a lot about that. RAND is centered around that. And then selectivity and focus, this is an interesting issue for you. To us, it usually means a geographic focus for measurable impact. I'm not sure that's going to mean that much to the RAND network, but the idea of focus certainly it's going to be important to you. You're going to need to think about focused or measurable results because, for so many reasons, but primarily we don't want too much dispersion of effort, right? Okay, and then so measure and evaluate impact and build in sustainability.